Please be seated. Good evening and welcome to the 1997 Baccalaureate program. As we close this chapter in our story of life, we need to evaluate the experiences which have led us to this day. Personal accomplishments should be built upon and mistakes should be corrected. We must understand our pasts in order to construct our futures. The road to success is completed by the individual. For many people, success means one thing and one thing only: money. But those who know God's teachings believe that success is measured by the intangible aspects of life, such as relationships, honesty, integrity, and compassion for others. The late journalist Eric Sevareid had this important message: man is a precarious balance between love and hate, generosity and selfishness, peaceableness and aggressiveness. He is not perfectible, but is improvable, and nothing in his history or his nature obliges one to abandon belief in him. He may indeed be forever trapped between earth and a glimpse of heaven, but he will hold to that glimpse, as we must. Every one of us has the potential to succeed, and if success is our destination, then we must be its author. Reward yourselves by making your dreams your futures. Thank you.
Last night I slept with childhood in the peaceful hour of sleep, and life was seen through innocent eyes. We played as children in fields of flowers, our only cares of ice cream flavors and favorite colors. And the sound of our laughter floated through the air. And for a moment, time itself paused, stopped to take a photograph of pure innocence, to later store it in the album of our memories. In the morning, my dreams faded away to leave reality. I discovered that we had traded in our tricycles and pigtails for keychains and college brochures. A sadness fell upon me as I tried to fall back asleep and continue the laughter of the childhood dream, but I found that it was no use, for time had won. We now had to melt together bad times with good, tears with laughter, and sadness with happiness, and every once in a while we had to say goodbye.
To the class of 1997, the following poem by Sarah Teasdale is an expression of how we have always been there for each other, in good times and in bad. We have always found strength in each other and made friendships that will last a lifetime. If I can bear your love like a lamp before me, when I go down the long and steep road of darkness, I shall not fear the everlasting shadows. I shall not cry in terror. If I can find truth, then I shall find it. But if none can find it, I shall sleep soundly, knowing how well your love has sustained me, knowing you are my lamp in darkness.
This poem, also by Sarah Teasdale, tells us to appreciate all the beautiful things in life. Life has loveliness to sell, all beautiful and splendid things. Blue waves whitened on a cliff, climbing fire that sways and sings, and children's faces looking up, holding wonder like a cup. Life has loveliness to sell, music like a curve of gold, the scent of pine trees in the rain, eyes that love you, arms that hold, and for your spirit's still delight, holy thoughts that star the night. Spend all you have for loveliness, buy it and never count the cost. For one white singing hour of peace, count many a year of strife well lost. And for a breath of ecstasy, give all that you have and all that you could be.
Exactly 25 years ago, I sat where you now sit. I graduated from high school on the same day that you will graduate from high school. In 1972, one student speaker began this momentous time by saying, "Wow, man." And you thought Beavis and Butthead weren't that old. This is kind of a trip for me. I admit it, I'm a baby boomer, and you're not. You are the generation left to clean up what we've done. And now you judge all of us as we judged our own parents. That's only fair. But given time, you will see that we had and still have, I think, a lot of the right ideas. So tonight I simply want to share with you a few words from one generation to another. With each word will come a slogan. You see, we were raised at the advent of the automobile, whizzing along brand new highways with billboards plastered every other foot, it seemed like. Burma shave, eat a Joe, a little dabba-doo-ya. That's really how we learn to read. Don't believe all that Dick and Jane nonsense. So we're big on slogans. Today, your slogans are rapid images on video screens, and so we don't quite share the same language. But what we do share is a love of music. Indeed, rock and roll will never die. So with each word also comes a song, some that you might even recognize. Excuse me. Without further ado, number one, first slogan, do your thing. We grew up on that, do your thing. Each of us is called out of our shell to be exactly what God has created us to be. Let's see, what song might go with that? Has anybody here lately been to the zoo? Okay. Something tells me it's all happening at the zoo. I do believe it. I do believe it's true. Whoa, whoa, whoa. The monkeys stand for honesty, giraffes are insincere, and the elephants are kindly, but they're dumb. Orangutans are skeptical of changes in their cages, and the zookeeper is very fond of rum. Zebras are reactionaries, antelopes are missionaries, pigeons plot in secrecy, and hamsters turn on frequently. What day? Gas, you got to come and see at the zoo. At the zoo. At the zoo. Now, the first word, diversity. Hopefully at the zoo you learn something about how different animals are and how different people are. You are part of an American society that is more diverse than ever. Indeed, we white Caucasians will soon be a minority for the first time ever in America. And that is a change that every race will have to deal with. Good. Maybe we can then stop talking about races and start talking about the human race. Celebrate diversity. Don't discount it. God has created a beautiful living rainbow in humanity. And so in this way, do your thing does not mean be me and the heck with you. It means, with Jesus, do unto others as you would have them do to you. For if I am unique, if I am blessed, if I am gifted, then so are each of you. Diversity. Number two, those were called, at least part of them were called, the days of rage. We were angry, young people. Angry about the senseless Vietnam War, angry at the power that was kept behind closed doors away from us, angry at the cookie-cutter lives without meaning which seemed to be all the future offered to us. In many ways, I think your music today also echoes this. Maybe that's why this song keeps popping up on the radio. Something happened in here. What it is ain't exactly clear. There's a man with a gun over there. He's telling me I've got to beware. Think it's time we stop. Hey, what's that sound? Everybody look what's going down. Battle lines being drawn when nobody's right, when everybody's wrong. Young people speaking their minds. They're getting so much resistance from behind. Think it's time we stop. Hey, what's that sound? Everybody look what's going down. I could just keep playing this all night, but we used to. Rage. I know it may sound a bit strange, me giving you that word, but rage. Age and education give you the authority, the citizenship, the responsibility to rage against mediocrity and injustice in our society. More especially, to rage against it in yourself. Lest you leave your life on the altar of ethical neutrality or find your soul eroded by the gentle rain drops of moral detachment. Heed Dylan Thomas. Do not go gently into that good night. Rage, rage against the dying light. But, it's always a but, with that, Make reason the nuclear weapon of your arsenal of rage. The hand that cradles the rock, the heart that heeds not the head, must never rule the world. Rage, but with reason. Number 3, one of our most famous and probably most wrong slogans: don't trust anyone over 30. As with many things, Bob Dylan was our troubadour. Come gather round, people, wherever you roam, and admit that the waters around you have grown, and accept it that soon you'll be drenched to the bone. If your time to you is worth saving, then you better start swimming or you'll sink like a stone, for the times they are a-changing. Come mothers and fathers throughout the land, and don't criticize what you can't understand. Your sons and your daughters are beyond your command. Your old road is rapidly aging. Please get out the new one if you can lend a hand, for the times they are a-changing. Okay. You know, of course, what we all found out about 10 to 15 or so years ago. Too soon it is we who are over 30. We may have sung with The Who, "I hope I die before I get old," but here we are fighting it off with Grecian formula and wearing short skirts way past our prime. Forget about our slogan way back then. But take the first word, trust. Be realistic, trust. Trust is a basic openness of the soul and spirit and heart toward other people, which somehow magically opens them as well. It has been said of us that each of us is a people maker. We smile and they come to life. We frown and they wilt. We pull within ourselves and they retreat. But when we aim trust at them, they rush forth from all kinds of dungeons, and they are beautiful. Trust always builds bridges and opens doors, because trust is ultimately of God. Trust in God to get you through any situation in life. And that will be your foundation to be able to trust others. Trust, regardless of age, regardless of circumstance, regardless. Trust. Number 4, this one's best song. You can join me if you want. Words are real simple. All we are saying is give peace a chance. Think you can handle it? All we are saying is give peace a chance. All we are saying is give peace a chance. I forgot we're in the 90s. Nobody sings along anymore. Okay. Peace. Peace. Peace has come to mean the time when there aren't any wars, or at least no major wars. And most of us would settle for that. But in Hebrew, peace, shalom, means fullness. Having everything you need to be wholly and happily yourself. Jesus was known, of course, as the Prince of Peace, and he seemed to use that word in two radically contradictory ways. One time he said, "Do not think that I have come to bring peace on earth. I have not come to bring peace, but a sword." On the other hand, later he said, "Peace I leave with you, my peace I give to you." The contradiction is easily resolved when you realize that for Jesus, peace seemed to have meant not the absence of struggle, but rather the presence of love. And so, number 5, 30 years ago this summer, the summer of love. And of course, the Beatles provided our anthem. There's nothing you can know that isn't known, nothing you can see that isn't shown, nowhere you can be that isn't where you're meant to be. It's easy, all you need is love, all you need is love, all you need is love, love, love is all you need, love is all you need, love is, I need the band to help me end that one, but love, it's a nice word. But remember that the summer of love moved very quickly through love, peace, and Woodstock Nation to die a bloody death on the fields of Vietnam, and eventually the frightening reality of AIDS. We spoke of free love, but soon learned that love is never free. It's never primarily just an emotion, but rather an act of will. When Jesus tells us to love one another, he is not telling us to love them in the sense of a cozy emotional feeling, as if you could produce a cozy emotional feeling on demand just like a yawn or a sneeze. No, he is telling us to love one another in the sense of being and working for the other's well-being, even if it means sacrificing our own well-being, or sometimes just leaving the other alone. Thus, in Jesus' terms, we can love our neighbors without necessarily liking them. You see, of all powers, love is the most powerful and the most powerless. It is the most powerful because it alone can conquer that final and most impregnable stronghold, the human heart. It is the most powerless because it can do nothing except by consent. Love. And then you got to believe. If nothing else, we had as much passion as you. We believed that beneath it all there was a power for good. Most recognize that power as God, even if some rejected the organized church. And I can understand that. Too often the church has been talking about believing in God. Believing in God is an intellectual position. It has no more effect on your life than believing in Freud's interpretations of dreams or whatever was the real cause of the Spanish-American War. Believing God, see the difference? No in. Believing God is something else again. It is less a position and more a journey, a relationship. It doesn't leave you in the cold like believing the world is round. It stirs your blood like believing the world is a miracle. It affects who you are and what you do with your life, like believing that your house is on fire or somebody loves you. Believing is passion. So it led many of us into the streets singing, "We shall overcome, we shall overcome, we shall overcome someday. Oh, deep in my heart, I do believe that we shall overcome someday. Today we live in a world which wants to intellectually believe in, that is, to prove everything, to touch, to see, to hold in our hand, or it doesn't matter. But life just isn't that way. The world isn't that way. Sometimes you just gotta believe. Believe something beyond our individual selves. Believe in a higher power. Believe something is connecting us all, something good, God. Find God wherever you are. Believe God, not just in God, but believe God. It makes it all the more possible to believe yourself and to believe each other, even when the world as you know it is falling apart all around you. Have passion. Believe. So there are my boomer gifts to you this night, and holy gifts too, I believe. Diversity, rage, trust, peace, love, believe. A few words from one generation to another. In many ways, we are very different. But I think in these ways, we are very much the same. And the fact of the matter is, we need each other. And now it is time for our graduates to speak powerfully of the bridges built over generations. So I do add one more word. Friend. I'm sorry. Don't ever buy a 12 string unless you're planning to tune it a lot. Here we go. When you're down and troubled and you need some love and care, nothing is going right. Close your eyes and think of me, and soon I will be there to brighten up even your darkest night. You just call out my name, and you know wherever I am, I come running just to see you again. Winter, spring, summer, or fall, all you got to do is call, and I'll be there, yes I will. You've got a friend. Through your 12 years of formal education, you have had special people along the way who have made a difference in your lives. So now this dedication ceremony is to recognize one of the most special people in your life, in your journey along the way. Each of you will say thank you by presenting them with one of these carnations. So the class of 1997, I invite you now to take a flower and to reach out beyond the artificial boundaries of generations. May God, I don't like that key. Gotta give God the best here. May God bless and keep you always. May your wishes all come true. May you always do for others and let others do for you. May you build a ladder to the stars and climb on every rung. May you stay forever young. May you stay forever young. Well, may your hands always be busy. May your feet always be swift. May you have a strong foundation when the winds of change shift. May your hearts always be joyful. May your song always be sung. May you stay forever young. Well, may you stay forever young. Amen.
Please rise.